Okay. Okay. So come into mountain pose. And let's bring the hands together at the heart. And gently press the palms together as you draw your elbows away from one another. Try to feel how that brings some space to the base of the neck. So you're kind of pulling the right shoulder to the right, away from the neck, and then the same on the other side. And then putting your awareness on your collarbones, try to lift your collarbones up a little bit. And as though you could roll them over your shoulders, just try to make that kind of a move where, you know, how when we roll our shoulders back and down, do that with the elbows out. And then kind of just turn your head from side to side a few times and try to loosen up the neck a little bit, maybe drop it down as well. And then try to find neutral with your neck. So neutral is where you have a bit of an arch in your cervical spine and your neck, back of your neck. But the chin is down and, well, back and down a little bit. And then the facial features relaxed. And then once again, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Try to lift up the whole front of the body. And then drop your chin down to lengthen the neck a little bit more. And salute the teacher within. And then release the hands to your thighs and actually take them all the way to your knees, leaning forward into your hands. Arch your back a little bit, keeping the elbows straight. And then pull your spine all the way back, keeping the elbows straight, really tucking the chin, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And then from your low back, pressing the spine in, let that arch climb up the back. Keep the shoulder blades down. Lift the chin, but keep the base of your skull also pushing towards the ceiling upwards. And then again from the low back, starting to reverse that curve. And just go back and forth. But if your neck is bothering you, try to do the leading from your pelvis or your low back, not from your neck and head, but rather keep your neck relaxed and let it receive what you're doing from lower down. So the movements may not be as great as they are whenever you're moving from your neck. Maybe just a very small rounding of the neck and then arching of the neck. Oh, if your neck is sore, you don't necessarily want to be overdoing the neck. Just keep it following, not leading. Now, if you have a crick in your neck, maybe due to the way you slept or whatever, my experience is that there's really nothing that just gets rid of that. You kind of have to live through it, come back to neutral, and it kind of works itself out because it's not really a posture issue. It's, an acute kind of thing that where you slept funny and your muscles are all just kind of kinked up. They just have to work themselves out. That's different than a posture issue or an issue of how you're using your muscles. So I'm just saying that as a caveat. So don't expect anything big and great if you've got a crick from the way you slept or whatever. Okay, so let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Now, if anybody finds something to the contrary, maybe they do research because they've got a sore neck and they find something that counters what I just said, please share it with me. I would love to know about it because I get cricks in my neck on a regular basis. If you have a long neck, you tend to get those more. And so I get them regularly. I have yet to find anything that actually just works them out the same day. You just generally have to wait until they work themselves out. And then just relax with your shoulders down your back. Now, I will say that twisting does seem to help a bit. But as you twist, you just want to always make sure, and this is whether you have a crick or not, don't lead with your head. Lead with your ribs and your shoulder girdle and let the head just kind of follow. And when you're in that twisted position of your spine, you might try, first of all, draw your shoulder blades back. And the shoulder blades are a little easier. They go back a little easier when you're in a twist. So then just drop your chin down towards your chest, glide it along your collarbones from side to side a few times without taking it into any extreme turn, just kind of going up to that edge, not at all pushing into the edge, just feeling where the stop is, stopping and changing directions. Again, what you're trying to do is just get more circulation going, so that hopefully the pain in the neck dissipates more quickly just because of some circulation. It also helps to loosen up what's below the neck. That's probably the biggest help to a crick, is loosening up everything below it, so those muscles of the neck will relax faster. And then release back to the front. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and then twist to the other direction. And then you might try it again, dropping your chin and just going side to side. Very gently. You may find a place where you really feel like you're getting to the right muscle to stretch it or release it. It's fine to hold it there. Just keep relaxing your shoulders. A good rule of thumb is just do no harm. Don't make things worse. You may not improve them, but at the very least, you don't want to make them worse. And then slowly release and come back. Separate your legs, circle your hips. I found that this can be surprisingly helpful for the neck. Neck problems, if it's a true kind of chronic neck issue, many times starts on our feet. When our feet are really tight, that can actually vibrate all the way up into the neck muscles. Reverse and go in the other direction. And then make your way back. And then sit forward towards, more towards the front edge of your chair, and just stretch your right leg out to the right. And reach your left arm to the left, turning your trunk towards that arm. Reaching it all the way across to the right leg. Inhaling as you're coming back. Now again, keep your neck relaxed. So think of this leading coming from more from your heart. So think about your heart opening out to the right, or excuse me, to the left, and then bringing the arm back from your heart to go to the right. So you're not pulling on your head and neck to make the movement, but rather letting the head and neck follow. Stay relaxed through your shoulders. You know, this is anytime your neck is bothering you, that's a time where you kind of can be, it's even helpful to be lazy in your yoga practice, to not like try to make it as good as you can, but rather really focus more on feeling, noticing what you're feeling and making it something that feels as good as you possibly can. Even if that means it doesn't look anything like what anybody else's pose looks like. That's how vulnerable the neck is. Okay. And then let's go to the other side. So left leg stretches out. Reach and turn to the right. And then reach over again, moving, thinking of this movement starting right in the center of your chest. Part of the reason to do it that way is because you won't go as far. You know, you're not going to pull as much because the heart center of the chest can't move as far as the arms and the legs can move. So it keeps you from overdoing and also keeps the movement more centered in your torso rather than, say, in your shoulder or even your hips. Makes it a more general kind of stretch rather than a very specified. And last one, reaching and then coming back, and just keep your legs comfortably apart. And then get both your blocks. And stack your blocks up onto, you know, your flat bottom block and taller second block. Now, this may not be enough height for you. You'll just have to wait and see. And if it's not, then move the bottom block up onto its long side. And so it's, you know, like the skinny, like this, as opposed to that. So you're up a little higher. That's what I would try if the flat bottom block is too low. Okay, so you're going to slide all the way back into your chair seat and just legs comfortable. And we want to try to put our forehead down onto the block. So that's the first thing you want to try, to just see if you can go down that far or if you need more height. So if you can't go down, then try raising it up and see if that's any better, if you can rest your forehead down on at that height. So go ahead and try that. So Dolores, can you reach that? Okay, good. Okay, now who couldn't reach it? Anybody not be able? Okay, so if you can't reach it, if you happen to have more blocks, you can use more blocks. You can use your bolster or blankets, but that's pretty unstable. You could try putting them end to end. You just have to kind of, again, they're a little less stable. So you may put your hands down there to hold them, to just get your head down there first so they don't go crashing. Now, your neck does not necessarily need to stay in the same line as the rest of your spine. The head can hang lower than the spine in this because it will be supported. So once you get that, you want to put your hairline. Actually, you're not even putting your forehead on the block. You want to put the block like right where your hairline is, and rest your head that way so that your neck can really let go. So try that. So just go forward, put the block right where the forehead and the hairline meet. And then you can put your arms wherever they feel most comfortable. And just rest them on your legs. You can reach back if you really want some good stretch on the sides of your neck. Either reach in between your chair legs towards the back chair legs, or outside of the chair legs to the back chair legs. That'll help draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. But if your neck is really bothering you, I would suggest that you relax your arms. Don't worry about pulling the shoulder blades down. Just rest right there where the hairline is. Relax your shoulders as best as you can. Hopefully this isn't impeding your breath. If it is, then come out. Don't stay down there. And Harita, that this irritates your vertigo, don't do it. Again, just make your motto, do no harm. So just breathe and relax. Let everything soften. Just notice how nice it feels to have your head supported. Everything can just kind of let go, including the frontal brain. It all depends on where our neck pain is coming. Sometimes our neck pain comes from tension. Maybe we're worrying about something, or just overthinking a problem. And all the muscles at the base of the neck and along the neck begin to tense. So just kind of resting the head like this can really help release some of that tension. Now, to come out, bring your forearms up onto your thighs and just bring your head up, not all the way up, but up higher than your heart. Take a few breaths, make sure that you're not lightheaded. And then slowly come all the way up. And bring your legs back into mountain pose. And then just move your blocks off to your side. Sit forward in your chair again and reach back through the sides of your chair. And walk your hands down the back of the chair until you're about to the height of the seat of the chair, but you're grabbing hold of the back sides of it. Okay, so when you're walking down, that should help draw your shoulder blades down. And when your arms are this far down, you can't lean forward very much, especially if your hips are towards the front. And then let me do it from the side. So if I were holding, the next thing would be to take this head of the arm bone back and pull it all the way back rather than just letting it hang forward like this, even though I've got my arms back. So try to draw the whole arm bone back so that you're making this flesh right here flatter. Okay, because when your arm bone's rolling in, you get this kind of cave. So rolling it out, you want to take all of that valley out of there. So that's part of how you release your neck. So roll your arm bones way out. Keep the neck relaxed. And then press between your shoulder blades as well as your shoulder blades. Press the shoulder blades and between your shoulder blades forward. Don't let the head resist back. Let the head be very, very neutral. No opinion about whether or not to go forward or back into extension or into flexion. Just keep it as out of the whole decision matrix as you can, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't, but and then just come back, bring your arms forward and just see if that created some warmth through your shoulders. And the more you can open up your shoulders, the more you're going to help your neck. So we're going to do some of what we did on Thursday with the bolster, but a little different in that we're going to try to keep more of our weight on that hairline. So take your bolster and put it in your chair. And take your blocks and put them on their flat side in front of the front chair legs. And then you're going to step back a bit away because we're going to take Uttanasana. Back of the legs are not really warmed up. I've been doing a lot of yoga today, so mine are pretty warmed up, but yours may not be. So we'll start a little slow. So standing in mountain pose. We just want to take our fingertips onto the bolster. And here, try to keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine. So that means don't hang it, don't lift your head up. You're looking straight down at the floor without hanging the head down. So just kind of be in this supported position for a moment so the backs of your legs can open up. And then lift your toes up. So you feel your arches activating. And feel that activation of your arch. So you know you're lifting it. If you're not sure, look down, you'll see it activated. Then see if you can release your toes without dropping your arch, which should cause your leg muscles to activate. And then start to press your thigh muscle back into your thigh bone. So just push and iron, if you will, like an ironing board. Iron your thigh muscle to the thigh bone. And then you're going to come forward, and here you may find that you need to, kind of move forward a little bit. But if you can put, again, that hairline right on the front edge of your bolster, so not your whole forehead, but enough that your head is supported. And then until you're sure you're in a good place, keep your arms on your bolster. So you have that additional support. And keep, again, ironing your thigh muscles back onto your bones and pushing those bones back towards your hamstrings. So you're not letting your weight come forward into your neck. You're pulling the thighs away. And then letting the weight come down right where your head is making contact with that bolster. And again, it should not be affecting the position of your neck. Then take one hand down onto the block, and then if you can, both hands down onto the block. Turn your hands out so that the fingers are going out to the sides rather than forward. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Now, every once in a while, you're going to probably need to check into where your weight is on that bolster. And make sure that it stays more towards the top of the head than towards your forehead. Keep pressing the thighs back. And then take your hands back to your bolster. Straighten your elbows. Come up to that furnace position. And then stand all the way up. And bring your legs as close to one another as you can without the inner knees hitting one another. Okay. So for this next pose, you kind of need a wall or a piece of furniture, something that you can reach towards. And I'm going to move my camera. So you don't need your bolster, just your chair. And you're going to put your chair with the back of the chair on your left side. So when you sit down, the back of the chair will be on your left side. And then you're going to just reach around and find the wall. Okay. So, and you don't want the arm to be completely straight. So Dolores, you're sitting on your chair sideways. So turn a quarter of a turn, yes, around to the front. Not your chair, just your body. Turn all the way around. So you're sitting in your, yes, like that. Yeah, so you may be too far from the wall. You want your trunk to be sitting in a normal mountain pose in terms of shoulders over hips. And then when you turn, you have plenty of room to put your hand on the wall without feeling jammed. Shoulder into ear or neck. You don't want that. You want to be able to drop that shoulder blade down. Okay. Okay. So now that you've got your measurement, that's the most important thing. Turn back to the front. Make sure you're sitting as squared in mountain pose, so your back is to the wall. And then take your left hand, put it to the outside of your right. And then take your right arm up and bring it back behind you on that wall. Okay, now you're gonna walk the fingers back. Okay, and as you're doing that, you're dropping the hand down. Okay, so as you bring the hand down the wall, okay, so it looks like to me most all of you are too close to the wall. You're doing like this. See, I can see your body. You're like, if you're close to the wall, it's gonna make you do this kind of thing, okay? Even if you're back here, you're still kind of jamming yourself. So remember, your arms are relatively long, so you want to be able to have the freedom to move. So this should feel good in your shoulder. It should not, unless you're have a torn, something that's really problematic in your shoulder that's active. And so Dolores, you're still too close, hon. You need to move away from the wall. Away from the wall. It's better to be a little further away from the wall than too close to the wall. Turn your trunk, not just your arm. There you go. Now turn your fingers back. So the fingers go back like this. Okay, so you're reaching, so that pulls your shoulder blade down and back. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to open this front chest. That's where you should be feeling it, right across this part of the shoulder or part of the chest, right here, that same area causes us so much trouble in our necks and our shoulders. So I think you're too close. Cookie, you're doing all kinds of funky things with your neck and your shoulder. You're doing like this. Okay, so that tells me your shoulder is way up to your ears. I think you're too close to the wall. That looks good, Mary Caroline. That is pretty amazing for you, Richard. And I can't see yours, Rita, but I know you know what you're doing. So, okay. Woo! And release. That should feel really good. You may need to move that with a long hold. So move your arm around and get the blood going back into that bicep muscle. And then just turn around, turn your chair around the other way. Hopefully the distance away from the wall should be about the same, but it may not be because we have more range of motion generally in one shoulder than the other. And then we'll take our right hand to the outside and then take the other arm. Again, you're turning your fingers away. They're not going up towards the ceiling. In fact, you're kind of almost trying to turn them towards the floor. And if you're able to do that, that's, if it feels good, that's fine. But, just keep trying to rotate that shoulder blade down the back. Let your elbow go straight down towards the floor. You should feel some opening on that same side of your neck. Gives it space. Just hold and breathe. And then release. And just move that arm and shoulder around. And then we'll come back to our home base. Okay. So roll your shoulders. See if you're any looser in your shoulders. Your neck may not be feeling any better right away, but maybe tomorrow it's going to be more likely to feel better than it would if you didn't do all of this stuff. Okay, so let's sit catty corner now on our chair and slide to your right and stretch your right leg straight. And with one of your blocks, take it on the highest side, right by your knee. And just keep the left leg aligned with your hip. And then you're going to turn your trunk like you're trying to face your trunk, your chest, towards this left leg. So you're turning the whole trunk and then your side bending and just put your right hand on that block. Okay, so again, we're trying to get this opening from this right shoulder straight up to the left shoulder. So none of this, we don't want this shoulder hanging like so. We want to bring this left shoulder and stack it on top of the right shoulder. And then just reach out with that left arm and try to take it back. Now, as you take it back, don't let your head go forward. Keep your head in neutral and just take that arm back till you feel a stretch. Palm should be facing forward, okay? So like that, you don't change that. You just go straight back. And you should feel the stretch. Now, if you start to feel tightness at the base of your skull, which isn't uncommon, try to bring your chin towards your throat. Just draw your chin down to lengthen the back of your neck. And now bring this left arm straight up out of the shoulder. Reach it up like you're going to pull yourself up off of this block with that arm. And at this point, let the back of your head go back so it's in line with the rest of your spine rather than forward of it. Inhale, pull yourself back up and release your arms. And we'll go to the other side. Stretch your left leg out and put your block there on the inside of that knee. And then again, turn your trunk, center of the chest. You're trying to line up with the center of your thigh. Okay, so it's quite a big twist. And then you're going to take this left arm and keep turning to the right to bring your left hand onto the block. So it should be difficult to do that, to not let your, okay, so come back, Dolores. Okay, so take that leg, your left leg out more. See if I can see what you're doing. Oh, you're halfway off you're right on the edge of Richard's screen. So you're it's hard for me to see exactly what you're doing. Okay, so one of the things, even though you're sitting catty corner, don't let your right leg go to the left. Keep your right leg going straight ahead. There you go. Straighten your left leg and put that block on the inside of your knee, right up to the inside of your knee. Okay, now turn your trunk towards that right leg. No, that's your left leg. Turn it towards your right. There you go. Now, without turning your trunk to the left, just put your hand down, your left hand on that block, all the way, flat palm, flat palm. Good. Now, stretch your right arm straight out of the shoulder, not forward. Pull it back at the same level, palm forward, thumb up. There you go. Now reach from your collarbone and the base of your throat all the way out through that left arm. Oh, that's your right arm. Right arm, sorry. No wonder you're confused. Okay, now take that right arm straight up by your ear, not forward, not forward. Straight up. There, that's better. Now, really get your weight down into that left hand. Weight into the left hand on the block. Whole hand, not your fingers, your whole, get your palm down. There, that's it. Good. Good. Now, pay attention to what's happening in your neck. Do you need to pull your shoulder blades down your back? Pull your shoulder blades down your back. Lean back. Lean your head back. Hurry to lean your head back. Head back. Harita. Head back. There you go. That's better. Good. Okay, inhale, pull up with that arm. So each of these little bitty moves can make a huge difference in your experience of the overall effect of the pose. You know, that's why we get into such detail. So, and it's the only way we can ever know what really does feel good and what doesn't, is if we have these points of comparison, because if we're just always doing the same habitual actions in our body, and I'm telling you to do something a little different and you're not doing that, you don't ever get to try on how something else feels, so that you can learn that, oh, there is a way to get out of this pain. Okay, so coming back to the center. We're gonna just do some easy cat-cow again. But I want you to, again, to initiate your movement, just like you did the first time, from your low back or your pelvis, not from your head and neck, not even from your shoulders or your chest. From way down low, put all of your brain, all of your mind, all of your awareness down there and rock. Let the major part of the movement happen way down there. And just allow the head and neck to do whatever they do. Try not to take control of them. And as you're moving the lower body, if you're allowing the movement to travel, naturally travel, as it will do if we don't block it, then you'll feel some very gentle movements in your neck. Very gentle, so gentle that if you don't call attention to it, you might not even be aware that it's happening. So we're trying to call attention to something that may typically not even be in our awareness. But it's this very gentle movement on your neck that helps to begin to soften and release the muscles that are gripping and causing discomfort. Okay. And then come back to mountain pose and try to bring into your body a really good aligned mountain pose. Supported from the inside out. Okay, so we're going to do some shoulder, arm, head movements together. So with your right arm by your side and the palm facing in towards your body, you're just simply going to take that arm straight up by your ear, but you're going to turn your head towards that arm, okay? And then as you lower the arm, the head turns forward. As it gets more by your side, you turn your head all the way the other direction, as far as it'll go without force. And so as you start to take the arm up again, you start to bring the head to the center. And as it gets all the way overhead, turning it all the way to look under your arm. And then go back. So that's it. Simple. move back and forth like that, and just try to tune in to all the muscles, little changes that are happening to make this action happen or doable, or just how is it happening? You'll feel your neck go into a really pretty much a full range of motion. You should feel some stretch as you get to the ends of your ranges. Let's do one more. So we'll end though with the arm up and the head to the right. And then turn your head to the center and lower that arm. Take a moment, feel the muscles here at the base of your neck, not so much on the sides. I mean, you may feel that too, but this is where I want you to focus, because these are the muscles that tend to just really knot up on us, which is really not your neck muscles, it's your trapezius, which is more your shoulders. But these are the ones that are our tension muscles or our worry muscles. Okay, so take the other arm up, palm facing in, turn your head to the left. Keep your right shoulder relaxed. As you start to lower the arm, turn the head towards the center. So head should be facing forward when your arm is about halfway down. And then when the arm is all the way down, the head is turned as far to the right as it comfortably can go. And again, when you come back, arm halfway, head straight on. When the arm is fully extended, then the head is turned to the left, fully extended, and just go back and forth like that. Just make it as smooth as you can, really paying attention to exactly where the head and neck are in relationship to the arm. Noticing when the arm is down and the head is turned away, that's the greatest amount of stretch on that left side. And just like in the opposite way, when the arm's up and the head's turned towards the arms, the greatest amount of contraction. So basically all you're doing is squeezing and releasing those muscles right at the base of your neck. And this does a lot to help them to let go of whatever it is that they're hanging on to. It's not that exciting, but if all truth is told, none of yoga is really all that exciting. Except for when we find that we can do something we didn't know we could do, that's pretty exciting. Okay, so just last one. So we'll go up, turning the head towards the arm, and then back to the center and releasing the arm. And just up and down with the shoulders. And then again, sit forward into the seat of your chair, reach back again low on the back arms of the chair. And keep your head, back of the neck, basically in line with the rest of your spine. And really get those hands down where you can feel the seat of your chair so that you're not going so far forward that you kind of lose your connection to your core muscles that are really providing some support for your whole back, and so that your shoulders aren't having to hold you up. Breathe naturally. Remember, you want those head of the arm bones pulled back. You don't want them rolling forward. And then sit back up. Okay, so we'll do some easy neck rolls. So this is more for feedback than it is to, change anything. So sit fully in your chair. So, and you could even a good idea, use some kind of support for your back. So that you're sure that you're sitting up tall. And that you're not having to hold yourself up at all with your neck or your shoulders. And then very slow and very small little rotations. See if you can pinpoint exactly where this neck tension is. So I just got a nice release in my neck. And I know that came from getting everything all nice and juicy. So it could let go, not forcing it, just really having more of a mental attitude of care and love and compassion and concern. Another adjustment. So an adjustment, as I'm sure you know, doesn't hurt, doesn't necessarily feel good. It's just you hear the kind of popping or ligaments, tendons, bones moving back into a better place so that everything is more in its natural or neutral place. Now, before you reverse and go in the other direction, come back to the center, sitting up in mountain pose and kind of checking. And then reverse and go in the opposite direction. And again, be mindful of places that you might come across where the stretch just feels good. And just hang out there. You don't have to rush past it. And just like, oh, God, that's exactly the stretch I need. Maybe your chin is exactly the right angle. Necks are so fragile and delicate that forcing them. That's why I really despise chiropractic neck adjustments. I just think they're really dangerous and, um, not just dangerous, but they really do a number on the nervous system. It's kind of like putting yourself through a trauma intentionally, which I don't know why one would do, but I know people do it all the time and love it. So I should probably just say it's just not for everybody. Some people, I guess it's fine, but boy, not for me. And then after you finish this rotation, come back and sit back in mountain pose. Now, here's a little, I guess you'd call it a trick you can play on your neck. So it's with keeping your head as neutral as you can. I want you to imagine that somebody's pulling you up, like you have a noose, not a great visual, but something at the base of your neck and right back at the back of your jaw, and they're pulling you up. So the more, the more that you're pulled up in that area, the more your shoulders are going to go down. So again, this shouldn't be dramatic, but just see if you can feel a little bit of length by imagining that pulling up. then just relax. So I hope you maybe got a little bit of awareness in your neck and shoulders that maybe you didn't have before. If you feel better, I'm glad. If you're feeling about the same, I hope you learned something. And I sure hope you don't feel worse. Okay, so let's bring the hands together at the heart. And draw the head of those arm bones back. Reach your elbows out. Relax your shoulders. Drop your chin. Thank yourself for taking this time. May we have faith to know that divine enriches us, invigorates us, and is present with us throughout our day. Namaste. Okay, so take good care, and I will look forward to seeing you on Thursday. So, see you later. Bye-bye.